So I'm George. We're on a dairy farm in Harbury in Warwickshire. We're milking about 100 cows here. So we've got the cows just at the top there. We milk the cows and then we bring the milk down to a vending machine in here, and then we're selling milk direct from the farm. Also in our milk shed, we've got a coffee machine, which is made with our fresh milk. It's fresh bean to cup coffee. It's been very popular with the village and with the surrounding area. So people come along, they buy their glass bottle, which is theirs to keep. It's reusable. They're obviously cutting out the plastic bottle that you would get if you buy it from a supermarket. The food mile's extremely low. Like I said, sort of 200 yards from cow to machine. So the process is the cows are milked. The milk for the machine is put into a pasteuriser. That is heated to 66 degrees for 30 minutes. That is the pasteurising process. And that's the only process. So it's not standardised. So it's the fat content of the milk is as it comes out the cow. So here we're roughly around 4%. So it'll have a slightly creamier taste to it than your stuff you buy from the shop. It's super fresh, like the milk in there at the minute. Yesterday it was probably still grass. So that's how fresh it is. You want to know where your food's coming from, I think, in this day and age, don't you? I think it's best that your food hasn't travelled halfway around the world, or your milk hasn't travelled 150 miles to get to your fridge. We've gone from years, back in the 60s, I think, selling milk direct from the farm to selling all the milk to a processor, to then coming back to the selling milk from the farm. But here, you can pull into the yard, you can peer up the yard there and you'll see cows. And the kids will come in here, you can almost, you could tell them which cows their milk has come out of this morning. So there's very much a connection there between, from farm to fork almost, isn't there? So.
Yeah, I'm Stephen Fletcher, and I'm a farmer from Berkswell, and we make Berkswell cheese at our farm. Berkswell cheese is made from ewe's milk, and then it's a raw milk cheese, which means that it hasn't been pasteurised. And we've been at this game now 32 years. The family moved to Ramhor in 1881, and we've always been dairy farmers. I'm the fifth generation. My son is the sixth generation of the family to farm there. And we currently milk about 800 ewes and make all the milk into Berkswell cheese, which is sold throughout the UK and abroad. It's got its own unique flavour. Yeah, people ask me, is Berkswell cheese like another cheese? And it's a difficult one to answer. And I actually sort of go back to them and say, well, no, Berkswell, it is what it is. There are some comparisons with Manchego, which obviously is well-known Spanish ewe's milk cheese, Pecorino, which is well-known Italian ewe's milk cheese. But I think really it's a standalone taste. It is Berkswell. I think cheese is it's a very sociable food. It's really nice to get together, have cheese on a cheese board during a meal. We'll just have bread, cheese and wine. And there's such a range of cheeses now, particularly produced in the UK. I mean, we can rival anywhere in the world now with our selection of cheese. You don't have to buy foreign cheese to get superb cheese. There's a really good specialist cheese movement in the UK, and that's something that I think we feel really proud to be part of. But it really is a great feeling to be part of quite a close-knit, really friendly community of cheesemakers.
Bovine tuberculosis is very similar to human tuberculosis. It's a different organism that causes it, but it's extremely closely related. So it's Mycobacterium bovis, and this organism causes very similar symptoms to human TB. So you get an upper respiratory tract infection, a heavy cough, and then the animal starts to lose weight and will not do well. And milk yields will drop in dairy herd, or if you have finishing stock for meat, then you will lose weight gain. So it dramatically impacts yield for the farmer, and it's particularly bad in dairy farms. Emma has been working on developing maps to show across farms where animals have been shedding the disease.
Yes, so as one of our interests is looking at transmission routes, then having a really detailed picture of the environment across a farm environment. So, for instance, looking at shared water sources between the cattle, or whether the badgers can access those, and looking to see whether the bacteria that is responsible for bovine tuberculosis is present is really important. So through looking at hotspots across the farm environment, then you can provide information for farmers as to which particular areas of the farm the transmission might be happening, and then that could lead to improved biosecurity on the farm to reduce this transmission, which would be the ultimate aim, to provide tools for the farmers to use to bring levels of transmission down.
So it's an important part of our our sort of natural history, and it's important that we get as much information as possible. At the same time, we're safeguarding the livelihood of the farmer. So the farmers are producing meat, they're producing cattle for finishing for meat, as well as supplying the dairy industry with very important milk, cheese, butter, and so on. So, in the days before we were able to control human and animal TB, milk was a very important route for infection. So milk was often, this is pre-pasteurization. So, public will know that pasteurization, one of the key aims of that was to destroy Mycobacterium bovis in the milk.